Hi, in this particular video, I'll tell you how we can vertically and horizontally scale our Amazon Web Services EC2 instances. And uh, doing that particular thing, we'll be able to understand that how we can scale our applications in terms of the overall infrastructure. Hi, my name is Anupinder Singh. I'm a software engineer turned university professor and now a corporate technical trainer with Superwits Academy. And let's get started. Let me share my screen. So this is what we have. So in comparison to previous lives, I've just added one single slide for you guys so that you can get the visualization that how the topic is happening. So as I mentioned, vertical and horizontal scaling. This is all about scaling your particular infrastructure. Infrastructure means that whatever the virtual servers you have, you want to scale them in terms of their compute capability inside the EC2 dashboard and so on. So clearly saying, if you talk about the horizontal scaling, that means you are adding more number of EC2 virtual servers in your pool of resources. Whereas in terms of vertical scaling, that means that you are trying to scale up the existing EC2 instance in terms of the power that it contains. That power is going to be in terms of CPU, in terms of RAM, in terms of network, in terms of IOPs that is going to be maintained, and so on, right? So just to visualize, so if you are working on the set of the vertical scaling, so this is how it is going to be. So let's say you start up your or you spin up your machine by using T2 micro instance, and down the line, 1 month, 2 months, you got to know about that. Okay, this is not working out for my particular application performance, and then you scale up to the another instance that is M5 dot large, right? So in this scaling up version, you can clearly see that instead of one vCPU, now you got two vCPUs, and instead of 1 GB, you have got 8 GB memory, and so on. So in the demo, I'll demonstrate you how we can make this particular change. Second thing is that if you are trying to have a horizontal scaling, instead of moving up towards the higher configuration, because this particular set of vertical scaling is going to cost you, because T2 micro is coming into the free tier if you are in the first year of your registration with the AWS services, right? So you do not want to spend more money into that. So what you can do is you can spin up more instances of the T2 micro, and you can put them into the scaling group later on, right? So scaling group is altogether, auto scaling group is altogether a different scope of topic. Today I'll be demonstrating you how you can actually make it manually work for you, right? So let's quickly move on to the particular AWS portal. So here you can see I have this particular one single server spinned up, and this is basically a LAMP server which we have configured previously. Now, for making this particular system work, so you can clearly see this is a T2 micro service and micro instance, and I want to upgrade this particular system to the higher configuration, right? So for that particular purpose, you have to go into the action, and you can go into the instance setting, and there is an option named as change instance type. So right now it is disabled, right? Why it is disabled? Because while the particular instance is already spinning, you cannot change the instance type of or underlying hardware for that particular virtual machine, right, or virtual server. So what you have to do is, first you have to suspend the working of this particular instance. So you have to go to instance state, and you have to stop the instance first, and once you stop, that means your services are going to be get interrupted. So in such cases, you should make sure that uh, the other instance must be up and running if this is a production machine, and or you announce the your scheduled downtimes, right, so that the users who are using your application should not be interrupted for their application usage, right? So here, as soon as the particular server is going to get stopped, in the actions option, you are going to have that particular change in instance type enabled, right? So as soon as you move to that particular change instance type, you will be able to choose a particular instance from the list, and this list contains all the different set of instances that you can take from the pool of the virtual servers underlying configuration that you can have. So right now, let's say I wanted to have something which is going to be a little bit more uh, uh, a little bit more of compute I am looking for. So let's say I wanted to look at the D version, or maybe I can have some X version. So D is something which is not going to cost me much in the terms of the overall cost. So I'm using D2 dot 2x large, right? So as soon as I have this particular D2 2x large and apply, the configuration is going to be applied to that particular instance, right? So once you are doing this particular kind of change, it is going to be reflecting in your particular list, right? So till this particular point of time, your server is not spinning. You're just having that particular configuration attached to your virtual server, right? So as soon as you go to instance state and start the instance, now what you are going to see is that your particular server is going to have a better configuration and better performance for the particular set of operations that your application is doing. So this is all about vertical scaling, right? And it's pretty straightforward, simple, and anyone can do it. If you are experimenting with the particular learning with the AWS, this is what you can actually start with. And just to get an idea that what kind of this particular instance is, you can just go and search about it, that what is the pricing range it has, and what is the term it is going to be, uh, what is the term of performance it is going to give you, right? So this is one sort of scaling that we can do, and this is basically the vertical scaling that I just spoke about in this particular context. So this is the vertical scaling what we did. So we actually increased the CPU, and as well as we have increased the memory, right? So if you are not aware what this particular D2 large is going to give you, so AWS, and if I give you an idea, so D2 instance, and control F, D2, right? So here D2, and D2, you can see what is the D2 large is giving me 4 vCPUs and 30 gigabits of memory in this particular context, right? So we are using 2x large. So you can see 8 vCPUs and 61 gigabits of memory is being now allocated to my particular server, right? So this is what is the case that we have. So this is basically a storage optimized instance, and that's what you get, right? So this is the instance which is now spinning for the purpose of the experimentation. So uh, I just wanted to have more of these kind of instances, right? So maybe instead of this, I wanted to scale up the infrastructure of this type of uh, this second type of virtual server, right? So I do not want to levy more of the charges, so I'm going for T2 micro instance, right? So what I do is I just try to spin up, or maybe I just scale back this particular instance, because this is basically coming from the auto scaling group, so it will not work. So I'll stop that particular server again, the lamp server. I'll scale back. So vertical scaling can be made up as well as can be made down, downgraded in terms of the hardware. So I go to the instances, still it is not active. Just 2-3 minutes more. Instance type, okay, instance type. So we'll take some time to have this particular set ready. All right, so this is a learning for me, so that from next time if I'm doing something like this, I'll be having 2 instances pinned up for this particular purpose. Because if I add up more servers like this is going to put me into a little bit of more expensive part, or not say more expensive, $2 or $3 will be levied, but anyhow that is going to be there. So now the change in stance type is there. So we have scaled up and we want to scale down to T2 micro, and that is going to be there. And I do the apply, and as soon as I do the apply of this particular thing, I'm going to able to start the instance and so on, right? So we have stopped, and now we are trying to make this particular instance up and running in some time. So as soon as it is being done, we can have this particular instance to be scaled up. And that scaling up is again easy in terms of the horizontal configuration. So as I mentioned that you create the copies of the same instance and then you put them into the some kind of load balancing later on as a part of the group, or also you can put them into the auto scaling, which I'm going to discuss in the next live, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So right now what we can see is we have this particular RAM server up and running, and as soon as we go to the actions, there is basically image and template feature. This allows you to have the horizontal scaling of this particular lamp server in a manual way, right? I would not say this is going to be into the cluster, but yes, this is going to add up more of such servers into the system, and that server is going to have the similar kind of configuration that you have. So launch more like this. So as soon as you are going to launch more, you get the AMI details, right? You get the instance type, the similar instance type. You will get the security group that is going to be there. You will get the corresponding, input uh, uh, inbound traffic and outbound traffic related thing. You get the instance details. You will get the storage that is going to be there, and it is going to be the snapshot that we have used for the AMI, and then we are going to have some kind of tag attached to it, right? So if you want to edit the tag, that can be done over here. So you can edit the tag lamp server horizontal scaling, right? So that is what we do. And review and launch. So as soon as you go to the launch, right, it is going to ask you what key pair, and it already give you the same key pair option that you have used for your previous copy, right, of the EC2 instance. So the launch instance is going to be the button that we have to hit, and as soon as we do this, you will find that the another instance of the lamp server is now going to get spun up, right? So this is how you can do the manual scaling of your infrastructure within the AWS account, right? So this allows you to have the scaling for the purpose of your let's say you are having more developers joining your team, and you want to give them some kind of a virtual server to do their coding practices and all that particular stuff. So this is how you can actually do the manual horizontal scaling for them. Or maybe somebody is trying to test up the application with more capabilities and more features and so on, and you want to scale up the performance for your existing machine, right? So uh, in that particular case, you can do the vertical scaling, and whatever the add-on cost is going to be there for your change of the instance, that can be worked out in this particular case, right? So this is how Amazon Web Services under the EC2 features, you get to have these particular changes to be integrated within your existing infrastructure, right? And that is what is going to be there, right? So I think that is it for this particular live session. I hope you liked it, and if you liked it, give my work as a thumbs up. And if you like this session and you want to go through a couple of more topics that I've covered in the previous post, you can go and check on my profile, and you will find the topics related to Amazon Web Services command line interface. You will find it on how you can create the Amazon machine interfaces, how you can make your EC2 instances up and running within minutes, and so on. So all that particular things are there on my profile itself. So thank you very much for watching this particular live. And once again, my name is Anupinda Singh, a software engineer turned university professor, and now a corporate technical trainer with Superwits Academy. Signing off. See you in the next live. Bye bye.